Hello, I'm Johan Falk at Node 1 Scandinavia. This is exercise number 14 in the documentation site exercises suite in Drupal 7 The Essentials. This is the probably most complex flag exercise you're ever gonna meet, and it's actually quite straightforward, but it's also very complex if you find relationships in views difficult. So this exercise is called List All Content Created by Friends. In a previous exercise we created a flag for flagging friends, other users on the site. And this exercise, this user story and exercise concerns listing content created by your friends, which is kind of a sensible feature on a site where you have friends. Okay, so the user story says, as a site member, I would like to list all the content created by users I have flagged as friends. I would like this list to be available as a tab on my user page. This is important since it helps me keep up with site contributions from people I like. With actually contributions from people I like. How to demo? We should be able to log in as a user, create a piece of content, another user, create another piece of content, a third user, create a piece of content, and then flag the two first users as friends. If you go to the third user's user page, we should have a Friends Posts tab, and there the content from the first and second user should appear, but not from the acting user, because he or she has not flagged himself or herself. And that's it. Okay, I'm gonna of course use the flag I had already, and I'm actually gonna clone the view that we had. It's called no, I'm not. We have a list of users, the friends, but I'm gonna actually start from scratch here. No, I'm not. I'm gonna copy the table I'm using at this search page here. We have something also recent. Let's see. Recently updated documentation pages. I'm gonna clone this one just to give myself a nice base in the view. It's a table that displays useful information about each post. Okay, this will be called Posts by Friends, I guess. Friends to a given user. Cool. Alright, we have now sort criteria recently created on top. That's okay. I think this is makes sense. I think we should also add the author field here. Since this is content written by your friends, you probably want to see which friend has written it. And don't we have? No, we don't. Oh, this is views is changing all the time. Okay, so we need. Okay, I'm gonna wait with that one. We will get the user information eventually anyway. Okay, so here's a list of content. Looks like this. Some of this content is, well, all of this content written by some kind of user. We want to look at that user because that user has a number of friend flags on him or her. Could be 0 flags, could be many flags. Each of these flags has a flagging user, a user that set that flag. And it's that user we're interested in. That should be the acting user or the user on which page we are looking. So let's do this. I think this is three relationships. We're going to start by adding a relationship to the user. So this is content user, I guess, content author. Documentation author, I'm going to call this, just to make it very clear. I'm going to call it documentation author here too. Apply. Okay, so at first we only had documentation pages as information. Now we have documentation pages and their authors. Then we add another one here. From flag, we're gonna have a user flag. From the documentation author, we want to collect the friend flags. Friend flag by any user. That's kind of important right now. There are details about that in the comments to this exercise and previous exercises. It's just the same problem we have with being able to display this as tabs. If we use Page Manager, it would be really easy to just display this tab on your own page, your own user page. But since we don't use Page Manager right now, the easiest way is just to have this appear on all user pages. And that's why I want to have all users here. Now what am I doing here? The friend flag. Friend flag. Friend flags on author, actually. Okay, so we have a piece of documentation, we have the author, and then we have the flags, the friend flags on the authors. Now, finally, I'm going to add one more relationship, which is the flag user. Meaning I'm fetching the user object for the user that flagged this person as a friend. Flagging user, I'm going to call it. Flagging friend, actually, friend flagging user. Okay, now we have documentation pages, we have their authors, we have the flags on the authors, and we have the users setting these flags. The user is setting a flag, setting the flag we want to place some restrictions on. And to do that, we change the path to have a contextual filter inserted into the path, not appended to it, which is very useful if you want to have tabs on user pages. So I'm going to have this as user/%/friend content. I don't know. Posts by friends is probably better. And we're going to have a menu tab. Call that posts by friends. View posts by people this user has flagged as friends. Gonna put that, I think 7 might be a good number here. We'll see. Right, and now this little thing here, the percent, should be the user ID of the people setting this friend flag. So I'm adding a contextual filter saying that the user ID should match this incoming value from the URL. And it's not the documentation author I'm interested in, it's the flagging user. And if I don't have any filter value, I give a page not found, because then something is wrong. Title override, posts by friends to number 1. Specify validation criteria. Again, always validate unless you have reasons not to. Only allow numeric user IDs. Good. Flagging user ID. Apply. There. And now we have the documentation author here, so it's no problem adding a new field here giving us the username. Let's call it author instead. From the documentation author, not the flagging user. And I'm going to give this an administrative title as well, author name. There. Going to rearrange the fields because the author name should probably be like here or something, maybe here even. There. most recently updated on top. I'm gonna actually, in the formats here, make the table sortable, because this will eventually be quite a long table. And then you might want to sort to find things that you want to look at. Okay, there. A complex view, but it should be possible to do this, and I think this works pretty well. We'll see in the next screencast. See you there.